Hi, welcome back to the show. It is November 10th here in the depressing state of Iowa where we hate sports. We despise them. We want nothing to do with them. I'm Nathan Creeps,
hmm
joined by my co-host, Mr. Bryce Borscheller. Bryce, somehow, some way, we're still alive.
Yeah, I skip by the skin of the teeth. This is a really, really depressing sports weekend. Like about as bad as it can get.
Not a damn thing went our way, and we were just talking about how we appreciated daylight savings time because we welcome the depressing season, but Mother Nature and our sports teams really laid it on. They listened to that podcast and they really laid it onto us this year.
Yeah, they said you were having a good time. Well, let me ruin that quick because it's went downhill very quickly.
I mean, this has been the worst November start out of my 30 years of living on this earth, and it's not close.
Okay, bring me like full circle here. I obviously know that a big part of that's the Hawkeyes, and that's not all bad because there's been some really fun stuff on the court lately. What's like the main drivers of this negativity?
Uh, yeah, obviously the Hawkeyes, but I got that sickness last week. I was sick for a
Oh
full
yeah.
week. Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it just lingered for the whole week last week. You know, it was every night you had to wake up and spit out some phlegm from your throat because your throat was in such a sharp pain. I know a bunch of people were battling it before the Halloween party. Well, I know that they all brought it to the Halloween party last weekend and they gave it to Fluff and I. Fluff is sicker than a dog in Des Moines.
Well, we can probably blame my fiance for that because I think she might have been the main actor in all of that. I somehow avoided it. I was next to it for 4 days. She was in a lot of pain. She had headaches for like 2 weeks, but somehow I came out unscathed. But I'm sorry that that happened to you because I saw her struggle for a long time.
Damn you, Darian. Yeah, I mean, I knew it was gonna happen. Here's the thing, like, I swear to God, I never get used to get sick when I was like 5 years ago. 5 year ago, five
hmm
years ago. Actually, I'll trim it up. I would say 2 years ago and the previous like 15 years between that gap, I never got sick. And it's almost a guarantee when you find out somebody in your circle is sick that you're screwed. So it's
Yeah.
like now I'm mentally sick for like a week before I even get the sickness. And the worst part is, we always talk about is like when you get that throat pain, but you're not sick yet.
Oh,
You're not sick, but
yeah.
but you know you're about to be sick, and it's so damn true. It's so
hmm
annoying. I got it. I'm like, fuck. There goes my
It's
week,
over.
and I'm not sick
Yeah.
yet. So you can't even start healing yet because it hasn't even hit you yet. So it's just, I might be a little bitch about it, but I don't know, man. I just swear to God, this never used to happen. Now it's a guarantee.
Something happened in the last couple of years too. I started upping the vitamin C probably 3 years ago because I was sick of it. I always got sinus infections, all this stuff. So I'm like, I'm going to take as many vitamins as I possibly can. And for a while it worked. And then kind of in the same light, like all of a sudden it feels like I can't do anything but get sick. And I'm glad I did it. I did avoid it. I avoided it this time, but I just know it's right around the corner
Oh,
because everyone has little kids now. I'm at public gyms, public spaces. Like it's just unavoidable. And it feels like everybody's just passing it around. So on top of the sickness, what else? Just truly a depressing Saturday. It's like bye week after a huge win leading up to a top 20 matchup. Oregon comes into Kinnick. The vibes have to be at an all-time high, even with 30 degrees and rain. And then it just like, is that what it is? Is that like the main driver of your sadness that it didn't quite happen?
uh, it just hurts more knowing that we finally have a quarterback that will go out and won us the game. You know, he went down and won us
Yeah.
the game, and then we lose in a last second field goal right in my end zone. Got pissed on all game. Was terrible. We talked about. I'll save that part for when we get to the sports. And then my
Yeah.
Monday was just, the dog's already down, and then life just kicks me as hard as it could the day at work. Everything that had to go wrong the day
Yeah.
at work just went wrong
Yep.
at work.
Yeah, that's the worst part about being a fan is that real life doesn't wait up for you. It says, "Hey, you better be there at whatever time in the morning and business as usual." And that's just a nice slap in the face after what happened. So we got back late Sunday. We got to take a nice little trip up to US Bank Stadium and watch my Vikings do an even worse job on the football field. We got to watch Iowa and Oregon at the Depot in Faribault, which as a Faribault fan yourself, I really enjoyed my time there. It was brief, but I had a great time. We had the whole bar which wasn't a lot of people. I'm not going to overstate this, but we had everybody in there that would have been maybe a Wisconsin, Minnesota fan cheering for Iowa. We had the whole place rocking. And even in a place where it wasn't all Iowa fans, you could hear a pin drop as soon as Oregon made that field goal.
This gut wrench.
Go back to the cabin, kind of have a few nightcaps, a couple really depressing nightcaps, really, because it just really felt like we were there, and I thought this was Iowa's time. It wasn't. But hey, we have Minnesota tomorrow. This is why we came up here for. We're going to go to U.S. Bank Stadium and watch J.J. McCarthy 9, as he likes to call himself. And 9 had 9 false starts and 2 picks. And my boy back here looked like he kind of gave up on the team. And we had a very sad drive back to Des Moines. So really tough weekend. Definitely drank a little bit more than I thought. Everything I said about maybe taking it a little bit easy after Halloween is not true at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I totally agree. I guess maybe the worst part about it is that I'm such a homer bettor. And so I'm also down big in my account.
Yeah. Your boy got
sports books are not looking too good.
Yeah. I mean, everything that could have happened opposite of what I wanted in the sports world happened. Sports bets, teams that I hate, they all won. It was Iowa loses a field goal. It's just I like the Vikings to win too, and they shit the bed too. But other than the game, how many times have you been to the U.S. Bank?
3, 4, maybe 4 times, I think.
God, I've been dying to go there. Atmosphere was awesome. Everything. You got to see Lamar Jackson.
Oh man, it's so good. Yeah, they just keep adding a couple more frills. Yeah, very cool to see Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. Their defense is really picking up now. Marlon Humphrey and those guys. The fun team to watch is just once again, so much like the Iowa game. It felt like we were in control and then just kind of shot ourselves in the foot. We just never. They scored almost all their points off of our turnovers. I think we definitely led the penalty battle. So yeah, just not a great performance. But yeah, every time we go up to US Bank, great experience, and they just keep adding frills. The big horn, the skull chants. They had snow. I don't think I had been there since they'd added snow, so we were getting snowed on for most of the game. They have some sort of artificial snowmaker, which was really fun.
Wait, what? Inside the stadium?
Yeah. So we were literally getting snowed on. It was 15 degrees outside, and we come in and we're getting snowed on.
What?
Yeah.
That's a thing?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, that is kind of dope.
And just the main note, I guess, with going to an NFL stadium compared to a college stadium is that the NFL is such a different beast. You will have people, for the most part, it's 95% Vikings fans or Ravens fans. Great showing by the home crowd there. US Bank still pulls in mostly homers. But it is so funny. We went to Nissan Stadium in Nashville last year, and you just see random jerseys, just fans of the league or their team that just show up to these games. And we sat right next to a Jets fan, a Bills fan, all these random East Coast teams. And we're like, okay, this is killing the vibe. We need you skull chanting. And they weren't at all.
No skull chanting from the Jets fan, huh? I mean, you could be in his shoes. At that point, there's no way I would still be on this earth. I was in the Jet fan shoes.
It was pretty funny. Every time the Jets popped up on the screen, he'd just go nuts. And then the game got tied up. He's like, no. So, I mean, he added some entertainment value for sure, but just unreal. I'm like, man, I just don't know if I'd go to maybe a Packer game in Lambeau, but otherwise I'm just going to see my Scourgers.
Oh, yeah, well.
Overall, good weekend. Down in the account. Really sad. Obviously, we'll recap a little bit later, but just.
Yeah, we're in the depths of hell right now, people. Things are going to go from here, though. There's no way they can get any worse. God, the weather was so bad at that game, Bryce. Okay, I'm not going to get into it. I'll wait for it. But at least the weather for the rest of the week is looking pretty good. So with that being said, let's actually jump into November 10th weather records here for Des Moines, Iowa. We got a high temperature ever recorded is 78 degrees Fahrenheit, set back in 2012, right after the world was supposed to end. The lowest
Mayan calendar.
Yeah, the lowest temperature ever recorded, 11 degrees Fahrenheit, set back in 1986. Most precipitation, 1.37 inches, set back in 1968. And, that same year, the most snow recorded was 11.8 inches in 1968 as well.
Wow.
Holy shit.
That's crazy. So Esterville just got 5 inches of snow over the weekend, double that, and you got the record. Which is, you know what is maybe the most surprising out of that is that it only has gotten down to 11 degrees. So we were actually pretty close to the record low too,
Yeah.
only a few degrees off.
God, it felt like it was the freezing. God, that rain was just brutal. I would way rather have snow than rain. I think
Definitely.
everybody in the world would agree with you on that. So just completely
Yeah.
stoked and miserable. But yeah, it's that time of the year. And I thought we are going to get some snowfall. We never did. In Cedar Falls, I'm kind of sad about that. Wherever we went, it just rained, and Mother Nature is pissed on me. Says, you ain't getting
Yeah.
any snow. You're already down. I'm going to piss all over you. Before we get into On This Day, Bryce, and Iowa history, we're bringing back the Iowa fact of the week.
Yes. Nice.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. I want to start digging into some useless information, useless history here in the state of Iowa, and useless facts. So something I'm looking forward to get back into here. And we start back up with this week. Your fact of the week, Bryce, is the state of Iowa is precisely 55,853 square miles. Okay. That makes
Of
it the
course. Yeah.
23rd largest state in the U.S. area, or in the U.S. What
Yeah.
country is identical in size to Iowa?
Georgia.
That's a good guess. It probably is. It may be in the top 5. I don't know, but what I can
I
tell
have no
you
idea.
is the number one closest proximity, not proximity, but by surface, by square mileage, is Nepal, which is just southwest of China. They touch borders, and that comes out at 56,827 square miles. And here's the killer. Okay, so just slightly smaller than Iowa. Iowa comes out at 3.2 million people. Nepal has a population of 30 million people.
Yeah. Bangladesh, Nepal, India, all bunched in together, Southeast Asia area, and yeah, they know how to mate over there for sure.
Holy
There's tons of people over there.
shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Man, at least when my life is terrible, I can go find space and
Mm-hmm.
privacy here in Iowa. I don't know what I would do in Nepal.
I can't even imagine that. I've never been out of the country that way. Only been to the Dominican Republic for that matter. So I really hope to do some world traveling. I don't know if Nepal is on my list of places to go, but it is very hard for a guy like me who's used to wide open spaces. Shout out to Dixie Chicks to imagine that many people. That is outrageous.
What is that? 15, it was like maybe like 13 times the population of Iowa, and Iowa's even actually
Yeah,
larger square miles. That's
yeah.
crazy. So shout out to the people in Nepal that make that.
Fun fact. Very fun fact.
Yeah, yeah. Looking forward to more of
It's
those
awesome.
coming. So, all right, on this day in Iowa history. So actually, before we go to on this day in Iowa history, today is a very special day here for all us
Mm-hmm.
Midwesterners. And the
Yep.
Chippewa, no wait, the legend
The
lives
legend lives on
on the
from the
Chippewa
Chippewa
down in
down.
the big lake they call
They call
Gumi.
Gitchagumi.
We always have these historic dates when we do this podcast. Something very symbolic has happened in history. Sure enough, we land on the 50th anniversary of the Edmund Fitzgerald that sunk 50 years ago, 1975, in Great Lakes Superior. 30-foot
Mm-hmm.
waves that men faced that night. 29 members gone down, crew members gone down. So pour 29 beers out for them. One more for uh, Gordon Lightfoot. Is that the name?
Gordon Lightfoot, the artist. Yep.
Artist for the
Yep.
wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
Yeah. Really has picked up in, I'd say, a cult following the last few years to the point where I think Great Lakes Brewing has even made a beer in honor of the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. And it's definitely getting a lot of hype. Sad story, but fucking banger song. Great song. And some of those best songs are truly like, storytelling and tragic events. But I can't imagine being on that ship that day. And it's weird. It's very hard to picture. Like, Superior is massive. I don't know if you've been up there
Oh,
before.
scary.
That feels like an ocean. That would be terrifying.
Oh man, when the gales of November come early,
I wouldn't
and they
wish it on my worst enemy.
came early that day, and they were 17 feet from Whitefish Point, or not 17 miles from Whitefish Point, so they were close to shore, but still 17 miles
Yeah,
and 30-foot waves,
tough.
water temperature of 40 degrees, 30 degrees out that night. Not somewhere you want to be. So, but legends, and
Mm-hmm.
I think ever since then, there's not been a main shipwreck in Lake Superior, so they did not die.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Crazy
It's pretty
stat.
good.
Crazy. There was like
It is.
6,000 total in Lake Superior. Almost like a Fitzgerald goes down, so it did good for society in Lake Superior. But yeah, Scary Lake, last lake you want to be in. There's no doubt about it, especially November. All right, Bryce. November 10th, history here in Iowa. John Todd is born in 1818, an Underground
John
Railroad
Todd.
conductor. Okay, minister and founder of the town Tabor or Tabor, however you pronounce it. Todd's home was a stop on the Underground Railroad and a place where he housed escaped enslaved people. Legend.
Interesting. Yeah, legend. Okay. This is crazy.
Think of like John's
Is
name.
he like maybe one of the more well-known Underground Railroad folks in Iowa? I'm assuming.
He's the only one I know. So to me, that makes him number one. It's me. God, imagine me at the pub. Did you hear about John? He's got an underground railroad system. Yeah, how dope is that? So shout to John,
Yeah.
1818, and that's it. That's the only thing going on here in the state of Iowa.
What a man.
Number 10.
Awesome. Shout out to John.
Recent news here, Bryce. It's mountain lion time again. I think we brought this up about last year. So mountain lion or big bobcat appearances taking place in Des Moines. Well, there's a mountain lion shot and killed in southeast Iowa this last week.
This picture is terrifying. I can't imagine seeing this in your backyard.
No.
This guy's huge.
Apparently, to the reports, it was killed near Drakesville, which is right there, obviously, during southeast Iowa. Yeah, imagine shooting. First of all, just imagine how the thrill of shooting that thing, though. Scared shitless, but you kill it.
Yeah.
How dope.
Those guys look like some avid hunters. I'm sure that was be terrifying for some, probably really fun for others. And yeah, I guess we don't want those around, so they did us a service. It seems like definitely like all over the state we're seeing stuff like that. I don't know if I've told you this before, but Waukee, Iowa has a coyote problem. It's all over our town Facebook page. It's tons of reports. You'll see them in town, out of town. So that's our big thing. But I can't imagine the lion.
Can you hear him?
You can.
That's crazy. And Waukee, too. I guess you guys kind of are on the outskirts there. Dude, that's nuts. I love coyotes.
Must be close enough to the river where we get enough of their, like, close to their shelters, because people will get pissed off all the time that they're getting in their chickens and all kinds of stuff.
I've seen a lot of foxes lately, everywhere. Oh, hiding.
That's got to be good luck.
My life is terrible. They must be the complete opposite. Not good luck. Grungy looking foxes. Well, it's that time of the year.
Yeah.
Every time when harvest season comes, you see all these critters lose their hiding grounds and they come out of the wilderness. See all these raccoons dead on the side of the road. Yeah, my thing is I've seen a shit ton of foxes. And they need to go away because ever since I started seeing them, my life's gone spiral.
Yeah, maybe not good luck. Never mind.
You have to keep me updated on this coyote problem. I'm a big coyote.
I will. I mean, honestly, I'd
better than a mountain lion problem.
Yeah, right. Like that'll pick up small dogs and cats. I'm sure you don't want those around. Yeah.
Well, before we get into sports news, I do want to bring up more light. And the one good thing about this podcast is, we get to share some cool stories. And there's been nothing cooler than the Great Plain hoax that took place in Troy Mills, and it brought up the legends of Doug and Donnie and Doug and the boys. And we've had some familiar faces who are in the same acquaintance as Doug and Donnie reach out to us on our Instagram channel. Mark was his name, and told us a good story, just a classic story. Is that there's always shits and giggles going on at the campground where Doug one day decided to put a fake outlet on the campground, had absolutely no electricity going into this, and sure enough, one of Mark's buddies was trying all night to get some electricity to his phone or charge his phone, and just there's always something with these guys. It's like a cartoon, Doug and Donnie and Doug. I can't wait.
I know these guys are Iowa legends, and it's like it seems like they are very well known in that area. And obviously they haven't done anything super notable to like be statewide known. But I hope that we can keep spreading the message that these guys are just absolutely living legends. Because every time I hear a story from them, it's comically hilarious. So all night this guy's trying to plug his phone into just an outlet on a tree. So maybe it's more on this guy, like for thinking that you have running power through a tree, but. It's still so funny to me to picture somebody like throwing in like an iPhone charger in a tree.
It's funny. I wish you could meet Doug because it's that shit every day, It's shit like that every day. So it's funny to see other people bringing up in your messages. Like, these guys are ridiculous. Absolutely. The one bright spot in my life right now is stories about Doug and Donnie.
Yeah. Well, dude, that's why you gotta do the prank stuff. Like, I know that these guys got a lot of flack, and they probably get shit all the time. Like, you guys need to take this more seriously. You use all these resources, whatever. Somebody's gonna complain about this stuff. But truly, like, this is the stuff that keeps you from going insane. Like, gives you the laughs that you need when you're down and your Hawkeyes lost. Like, I love these guys. I haven't met them before, but I appreciate what they're doing.
Stay tuned for more Doug and Donnie. We actually need to do a segment every week of what's new with Doug and Donnie. They just need their own reality TV show.
They do.
They absolutely.
Let's give them a show.
All right, it's time to get into the inevitable. All week Iowa obviously loses to Oregon 18-16, and all week it was nerve-wracking, nervous, and the most anticipation for a game I've ever had. And everyone talked about how unbelievable the atmosphere was going to be. And the weather just absolutely put a damper on everything, Bryce. I was in Iowa City. We sold our parking pass in fear for the rain, not to be pissed on all day at tailgate, then go inside the stadium and then being pissed on. Well, we sold our parking pass to a little bar hopping. Then it rained one bit until we decided to go to the game. So the second we decided to make our venture to Kinnick, it starts raining. So, and it was just hard for the crowd to get into. It was absolutely miserable. It was one of the worst weather atmospheres, and I hate that he used that as an excuse, but it was. You could tell it had an impact on the stadium. It really did.
We knew people that left the game at halftime because it just became so unbearable, and I really don't blame them. Like 30 degrees, it's raining, like that has to be terrible. Like I've been in some pretty bad sporting events, 0 degrees out in the snow for my cousin's snowcross south of Minneapolis, but like that, you're right. That was snow, and snow is like you're not constantly drenched. I think truly what you guys did is the worst weather you could be in.
All game, and then in the fashion Iowa loses. I mean, just an absolute gut-wrenching loss. One of the worst ones I've ever experienced. I was at the Big Ten Championship in 2015 when L.J. Scott, I think, stuck his hand across the goal line, scored that touchdown. There for the Indiana, there for the Cooper DeJean called back punt return. The Iowa Oregon, you could see the writing on the wall. Iowa has a monkey on its back, and we just, for some God-known reason, we just can't beat a ranked team anymore. And the most frustrating part is that our offense is now putting our team in a position to win these games. How crazy it is. A 96-yard drive by Mark Gronowski engineering Iowa to a potential top 10 win here inside Kinnick, a comeback win against a top brand team in all of college football. Writings on the wall. We brought this guy in to get the job done. He gets the job done, and fourth down, runs it in. And for some fucking reason, Iowa's got one of the longest streaks of not being able to convert the 2-point conversion. And what did we try to do? We tried to pass the ball when we watched Mark Gronowski all year long. One of the top rushing quarterbacks and one of the top rushing players in all of college football. Have him throw the ball again. My God, run the guy. He's unstoppable. Yeah. What do we do? We fucking pass it. Third down, we tried to pass it. A disaster play. So we bail him out with a fourth down run from Mark Gronowski. And for some God knows reason, we try to do some fade to the end zone.
Yeah, and it's close too. You're a heel away. It's he looks like Moulton stumbles. He's so close to grabbing that ball, and you almost knew it when you don't convert. You have a minute and 50 seconds to get a field goal as Oregon. That field goal wins the game, and what felt like a really stout Iowa defense, really wasn't that bad. But Dante Moore throws one of the best balls I've ever seen. 30-yard dime on the right hash and puts them in field goal range, and there's really nothing more that they have to do there other than run a couple times, get the ball in position, and chip shot field goal. It was so depressing because it just felt like you get that 2-point, and it's almost guaranteed. You don't. There's just too much time for a team like Oregon to go down and score.
TJ Hall, great coverage, too, on that play.
Oh, it was perfect.
Iowa's defense, stout, right? Everyone in the country knows that stout defense, great defense, until they absolutely need to play defense to get the job done. You watch against Iowa State, couldn't get the job done. Penn State, they got the job done, but it was scary. Indiana couldn't get the job done. Oregon couldn't get the job done. And it's just terrible.
You're a few plays away from potentially being 9-0. This is a team that looked suspect early, looks so strong now, and has had moments where they truly are contending with the best teams in the field right now, and it just is a real bummer because I know I hear what you're saying. Like you bring in Mark Gronowski, a proven winner, and he maybe doesn't pass the ball as well as you'd hope from a quarterback, but he's a leader. He's a guy you follow. He's making big runs whenever you need it, and just disappointing. Like defense is almost like you're saying, it's almost always there, and then just a little lapse in judgment on the Indiana slant, a little, truly a dime piece by Dante Moore. You can't
Mm-hmm.
shirk that. Like that was truly a nice pass, but
One of
it's
the
a bummer. Felt like this team was there.
It's going to go down as one of the biggest what if seasons in Iowa
Mm-hmm.
history. You have the offensive line, playmakers on offense. Mark Gronowski, you only get him for 1 year. I feel so bad for Gronowski. Dude, you're a legend, Mark. I'm so thankful you decided to be a Hawk. I'm just pissed out. It's one and done for you, and this is how it's going to go. We have 3 losses. Number 2 Indiana, top 10 Oregon team, and at the time it
Mm-hmm.
ranked Iowa State on the road team. 3 losses with a combine of 10 points. It's truly terrible, and Iowa just cannot get that freaking monkey off its back, and it's pissing me off. These teams are executing so well against Iowa. The last missed field goal, the only team that missed a field goal against Iowa this year is Rutgers. This is getting ridiculous.
Really?
Ridiculous. Indiana crunch time, 2 for 2 for field goals. Iowa State 3 for 3. Penn State 2 for 2. Oregon 2 for 2. These field goals are killing us. One of those have got to miss. They're just not.
Mm-hmm.
Teams just performing against Iowa, and they absolutely need to perform.
And God knows we've gifted a few. Like you know that if Stevens hits that field goal against Indiana, we win that game. They're not, you know, they're getting a kickoff and then they have all the pressure to get that field goal right back. You know that we stop them there. So yeah, I mean, as much as we've gifted it, sounds like we're not getting that same luck. And truly, it is one of those what if seasons. I saw some positives for sure. We were in the depths of hell when it came to quarterback play and offensive play calling, and I do think Lester and Gronowski have opened up the playbook enough and shown the light that with a Phil Parker defense and some quality recruits and a playbook that's open now. Like if you're a quarterback now coming to Iowa, it's a little bit more dynamic. It's a place that you can actually make a name for yourself, and to me, that's promising.
It is incredibly promising. It's very more enticing. You just saw the Boise State 4-star quarterback who took a visit to Iowa. A week later,
Mm-hmm.
decommitted to Boise State. This week, commits to Iowa. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's a sexy job again. Why would it
Mm-hmm.
not be a sexy job when you have the fan base of Iowa behind you and you can actually move the ball in offense now? And it's promising. It really is. It's just is at this year at the O line and Gronowski looking the way he is a winner and who he is. And we've
Yeah,
seen it. We've seen him be the winner. It's just
I
has
just that's the biggest tragedy is that obviously we have some fun games to finish. USC, Nebraska is always going to be a battle. So we get to see him in a few more big moments, but I would love to see this guy in more crunch time situations because he is so clutch.
Yeah, the goal for Iowa here is beat the ranked team. We have one more opportunity
Mm-hmm.
here to take out USC. Potentially Nebraska, if they win out, they're looking really good with their backup quarterback now. If they win out, they'll
Yeah.
be ranked for that final matchup. I would assume so for Iowa. So more than likely, you have 2 opportunities to
Mm-hmm.
get that monkey off your back and just be done with it. 12 straight
Yep.
losses, the ranked teams, and once you open up that gate, I feel like things will start flowing hopefully in your direction. Yeah, Iowa
Yep.
travels now to USC. No easy task here. One of the number 2 offense in the country. Uh, you go to West Coast, which Iowa obviously struggles out there. Yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
just God pray for our defense and just excited to watch Mark Gronowski again. That really is.
100%. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of ways to finish this season and still feel really good about it. Have a good taste in your mouth going into the off season. Obviously not what it wanted to be, but I'm ready to watch more of this team. I've really fallen in love with them since honestly the Rutgers game. I thought you saw the defense take a switch there second half, and ever since then we've just been really playing good ball. So I'm pumped for it. I am disappointed, but I like these boys. And honestly, hey, I see you got Iowa State on here. It's good to be talking about these guys in the win column too.
Oh, yeah, good for you, Iowa State. For some reason, both teams just can't have success at the same time to where we can kind of both pat each other in the back. Instead, when one
Mm-hmm.
loses and that one wins, you receive all the shit talk in the world you could possibly get. And it is what
Yep.
it is. We're sports fans and
Mm-hmm.
our lives. I put all my eggs in one basket, and it's a hell of a roller coaster. Yeah, Iowa State finally bounces back in an unlikely game. I thought they would for sure lose against TCU 20-17. TCU, I thought, in my opinion, had one of the best quarterbacks in the country. He came in with
Mm-hmm.
24 touchdowns. 8 interceptions this game. Rocco Beck, however, is still struggling, but whatever. A win's a win.
A win's a win at this point.
It will likely feed confidence back into him. And the exciting thing for Iowa State was they had a punt return. 79
Mm-hmm.
yard punt return, native floor, freshman from Adel, Iowa. I can't remember when the last, I think it was like 2017, some crazy set like that since I've had a punt return for a touchdown.
Yeah. No, it was
Insane.
good to see. And, this was a game I didn't get to catch a lot of because they played at the same time
Mhm.
as Iowa, and we were on the road for part of it. And uh, it sounded like Rocco stats looked a little bit, or the box score looks worse than how he was playing. Obviously, he does still have that turnover issue. That's got to get figured out. To
Nine
finish
for
this season strong
24.
and to get I'm not sure what happened here. I really do think it's, you don't replace Higgins and Noel. But at the same time, it's like some of that's decision making. So either way, good to see them get on the win column again and
Now they
into another bye, huh?
Yeah, third bye week. That's what happens when we play week 0. Just more time for Iowa State to get healthy. And always said was for the rest of the season, just play carefree, play
Mm-hmm.
fun, and see if you can't string off some wins. And I know their next 2 games will be Kansas at home, and Kansas was a ranked team going into the season. They've kind of fallen apart. So you get them at home. Still a team you got to be careful of. They get some weird quarterback talent, running back talent there. LaShawn Williams, former Iowa running back. Take
Mm-hmm.
care of them. Win your senior night game. Advance to 704, and then you go to Oklahoma State, the shirtless section nation, who is clearly one of the struggling teams in all of college football. So you have a good chance to finish that bad boy 8-4 and just end the season on a positive note. Go to a decent bowl game and get a dub.
Yep. Yep. There's a way to finish strong for both programs. Let's do that. That's better for the state of Iowa. And truly, that way you can go right into a very, very, very promising basketball season. Because what I watched at Carver Hawkeye and at Hilton Coliseum was a lot of fun last week.
Yeah. Quick note: we won't get too deep into basketball, but yeah, I made my debut for Coach McCollum at Carver Hawkeye Arena, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the most refreshing things I've ever been a part of for the home
Mm-hmm.
opener against Robert Morris. New, still work to do filling attendance there. It's gonna fill. If you win, it'll fill. But even with somewhat of a lack of attendance, the energy and the culture in the arena have completely shifted. One
Yeah.
thousand percent shifted. The crowd was all on their feet in the first possession, the defensive possession of the game, because they were actually playing
You could hear the
defense.
cheers. People were pumped up about the defense for that first
Mhm.
10. I think we were up 10-2 at one point on those boys, and it was fun to watch. I mean, it's the Showtime Hawks right now. I know that we're playing the schools of nobody, Robert Morris and Western Illinois, but man, Bennett Sturts looks good. The boys are
Been
getting out in transition, getting lots of dunks.
Yeah, yeah. I'm afraid. Yeah, first game looked really good. Second game looked a little
Mm-hmm.
iffy, but you're going to get that in the beginning of the
Little,
season. It is what it is. You don't know what the hell is going on when you play these low tier teams because sometimes you unfortunately play to your competition, and especially in the beginning of the season, and
right.
especially with this group of former Drake players. We
Mm-hmm.
knew McCollum's kind of key for that last year. They slowed down the tempo, played a little bit to the competition. However, you have Xavier coming to Carver Hawkeye Friday night. Going to be a loud environment, really exciting environment, and this is your chance to find out who you really are.
Definitely. Yep. Finally getting into the meat of the schedule. Couple Big Ten games I see before Christmas, and then obviously you get the heavy Big Ten slate in January. So excited for this. We're 1 month out from Cyhawk. I think this is going to be one of the better Cyhawk basketball games in a long time. I think it's going to be evenly matched. It sounds like Iowa State has one more guy that they added that I think somebody commented in our Iowa Chill Show TikTok comments about this guy, and it looks like he's actually playing pretty well. So I'm really pumped for basketball season now. I hate to be that guy because football is still
I
well
know, I
underway.
know. Well,
But
now that you're out of the playoffs, which is kind of good. I kind of said this. I almost want to
mhm.
lose. So I had to quit freaking worrying about it. I'm just still pissed off from the loss. Yeah, I'll be fine here by Saturday and get to enjoy the game. But now I'm going to pay a lot more attention here to basketball, especially with Xavier
Mhm.
coming to town. We'll keep our eyes on Iowa State.
Definitely.
All right, Mr. Bort, you ready for our top 5 ranking of the week?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, we're going to be ranking the top 5 greatest athletes to ever come from the state of Iowa. And I mean, we say it every week. It's tough to pit only 5 names down here. And
Very,
I I,
very
I
tough.
I got a good reasoning for all my picks. Obviously, some people are going to be left out to where it might cause an eruption here in the state of Iowa. I'm sure of it.
Hmm.
Sorry for it, but it's these athletes also have a personal tie and an impact on my life. I don't want to pick someone from 1940 who I don't know much about, and you know, so I'm trying to keep
Hmm.
things much relevant to my timeline as possible. All right,
Kick us off. I want to hear. I'm very curious. I went with more of the accolades, the amount of national recognition, the amount of international. So I'm curious to see after you kind of laid out how you rank these guys to see who you have.
my number 5 is Sean Johnson from Des Moines, the Olympic gold medalist um, from Iowa, competing for
Hmm.
Team Gymnastic USA. Sean Johnson it was almost like Iowa was never on the chart back in the day. And all of a sudden, here came this gymnast from Iowa winning a gold
Hmm.
medal, knowing that it's possible for, yeah, Iowa might have some talent here in the state. I mean, that was on the
Hmm.
biggest stage in front of the entire world at the youngest age possible, almost competing in the Olympics. She got the job done, and man, was she fun. She goes on to win Dancing with the Stars too, and her
Yep.
fame was
Yep.
just blowing up. And I was all for the Sean Johnson, right? She made me excited. She really did for women's sports.
Yeah, 2008 Beijing on the beam, getting that gold medal, and then I think 3 or 4 silver medals. She dominated Beijing, and yeah, we needed that. It had been a little bit of time since we had been on the national and international stage, so very, very cool. Had to have her on my list as well a little bit later. Honorable mention for me, Zach Johnson, Iowa City born, raised in Cedar Rapids, and two-time winner on the PGA Tour in the biggest moments, the Masters and the Open. So I had to throw him in there as an
He
honorable
doesn't get
mention.
enough credit sometimes.
No, and he had a controversial captainship for the Ryder Cup a year or two ago. Not a very well liked guy from what I can tell. I got no issues with him. I think it's really cool that we have a guy that's won that many times on the biggest stages in golf. But my number 5 is one that I think is going to go down in all-time Iowa history. I think she's this low because she's this young. And while she hasn't won at the NCAA level or the WNBA level, Caitlin Clark is going to be an absolute legend and will probably go down as one of the biggest athletes in Iowa history. So I had to kick it off with CC.
You'll be CC later on my list. Bryce, go ahead. Solid number 5 there. Bring in number 4.
Number 4, Sean Johnson. We just talked about it. Des Moines native. She didn't go to an Iowa college, as from what I can tell. I actually didn't know that. I thought she might have been in state, but then she obviously brings home the gold medal in 2008 at Beijing. So that was so
I don't
cool. And I
think she
remember
went to
that.
college.
Yeah, she
I
didn't.
don't think he
Those
did
gymnasts
because
are so
they're
young.
so young. At that point, there's no purpose in going to college. You stay on the Olympic team or the national team. You ride off her fame or make money.
Yeah,
'Cause back then you
that
couldn't.
is the craziest thing
Back
about
then
the
you couldn't.
gymnastics.
She could have been the Livy Dunn.
Yeah, she could have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's they're so young and just repping the entire nation, and it truly was some of the most fun events throughout the Olympics. I love watching the gymnasts.
All right, Bryce. My number 4 is Kurt Warner, the boy from Burlington, Iowa. One of the coolest stories too, right?
Hmm.
Was a UNI, works at the grocery store, stocks some shelves, has some weird thing with the cereal box to where, yeah, I got to go back to the football because Iowa Barnstormers, and
Hmm.
also obviously gets the winning job eventually in the NFL at the St. Louis Rams and wins a Super Bowl. If
Hmm.
you're from Iowa, you win a Super Bowl as a quarterback, the main facilitator for your entire organization, you make the top 5 list. Okay, what an
Absolutely.
achievement. Great guy, great story. He's really involved with UNI athletics to this day and just one of the most prominent figures to come out of the state of Iowa, I think, in sports.
Definitely. And I know you're circling back here, but since we have the same one, I'm going to bring up Kurt Warner as well. He's an NFL Hall of Famer, 2-time MVP, should have been a 2-time Super Bowl champion, but an incredible play by Ben Roethlisberger and Santonio Holmes robs him of one more Super Bowl. But yeah, just an absolute Iowa legend.
So Kurt Warner's your number 3?
He was my number 3.
Okay. My number 3 is probably one of the best nicknames that come out of the state of Iowa. The Heater from Van Meter, Bob Feller.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
a lot of people are going to say, what the fuck? Why is he not number 1 on your list? We're just not big baseball people. That's really what it comes
That's all it is. He didn't even make my list because
Uh,
of that reason. And I know we just talked about him on the show, so I felt a little bit better not bringing him up. But yeah, that dude's him,
mhm.
as the kids would say. What are the stats on Bob Feller? I know that you brought this up maybe a week or two ago, but crazy.
God, I remember, I don't know. He played 18 seasons. We brought up a stat last week. I think when his birthday. His birthday. He was born last week. And I
Hmm.
remember saying, like, okay, holy shit, this is why he's regarded as potentially one of the greatest athletes ever come out of the state of Iowa.
See if we can pull it up really quick just to give Bob his flowers one more time. If not, then we'll just move on. But yeah, this guy, I mean, has a crazy career, and I love this because we have a couple guys on here that are from very small town Iowa. My number one, probably not that crazy, but Adel, Van Meter, I love that. These little towns right around where I'm at now. We'll say that. We'll throw this. We'll throw his stats on the clip if we post him this week. How about that?
There we go.
Uh, Nate, I have 2A and 2B because I felt like these guys had similar careers, and in a wrestling state, they deserve to be pretty high on this list. I have Dan Gable and Tom Brands. Now, Tom Brands was not born in Iowa. He was an Omaha, Nebraska guy from what I could briefly research. I don't know a lot about this guy, but I do know that he is an Olympic gold medalist, absolutely stud, national champion several times. It looks like 3 times, and then the 1996 gold medalist. So I had to put Tom on there, and then Dan Gable also at number 2, Waterloo, Iowa, 2-time national champ at Iowa State, and then 72 gold medalists. So both those guys, gold medalists, bringing home gold from the state of Iowa. I felt like I really had to put those guys on there.
Yeah, I always love the story that Gable started off at Iowa State, goes over to Iowa, and builds the
Mm-hmm.
program into what it is nowadays, right?
Mm-hmm.
A top number 2 consistently ranked wrestling program, which is really hard to compete with Penn State. But it is what it is because of Dan Gable, one of the
Mm-hmm.
greatest athletes that come out of the state, and a lot of respect for him.
What, 21 year coaching career at Iowa? Long time coach, too.
All right, my number one. It's going to be really controversial, but I don't think anyone has had a bigger impact on the state of Iowa than this gal. I know she hasn't done a whole lot in
Yeah.
her professional career, but I don't care. The spotlight she's put the state of Iowa on, especially the women's basketball, who's not sold out for third or fourth consecutive year, and she's been out of the program for 2+ years. It's Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Hands
is
down.
you have who's that art? All these artists, celebrities come in courtside seats to Carver Hawkeye Arena to watch her play. She is a big deal. Now, accomplishment wise, you know,
It's not there yet,
it
but
might not be there, but you're still the all-time leading scorer in
mhm.
college basketball history. And the fashion, the elevation she did for women's basketball was just out.
Yeah,
It's almost unthinkable to think of the
it
era that
is.
we lived in with Caitlin Clark. And for that, I'll give her flowers. I think you're the most impactful athlete to ever come out of the state of Iowa, and the way you did it was one of the coolest things I've ever witnessed.
Yeah, I think we had 1 and 5 interchanged here, and I really looked at it as maybe an accomplishment based thing. But when you look at like cultural impact, if that was more of where we're going here, then she is number one. Like she has put women's sports, not even just basketball, on the map, and the amount of excitement that you just feel because of characters like her. She's going to go down as one of the all time Iowa greats for sure. But I had to throw Niall Kinnick on there as my number one. Heisman Trophy winner, and one of my favorite stats. I never knew this about Niall Kinnick. This is on me. I didn't do my research beforehand until today. He had 107 of Iowa's 130 points his Heisman Trophy season. That's something you probably will never see again.
That's why I couldn't put him on my list because
It's so long ago.
it's so long ago. It's hard to, you're comparing apples to oranges here. But one of the coolest and most impactful stories of any athlete of all time, he wins the Heisman Trophy, doesn't go to the NFL, instead declares to go fight for his country, and obviously,
Hmm.
dies in action.
Loses his life as a naval
Yeah.
aviator.
Yeah.
And that just adds to it. Like he chose service over his career, and that's something that we'll always remember. And obviously, the namesake of the stadium. So yeah, I love the list. This was really really fun to research. There was probably 4 or 5 more folks in the track and field arena that I could have put on here, but happy with who I ended up with. These guys are absolute legends.
Yeah, good list. I like your reason for it. I'm sticking with my list. I'm confident in it. I know some
Yeah,
people out there are going to be really pissed off, but hey, that's what we're here to ruffle some feathers. Feel free to let us know who your top 5 is.
yeah, for
I want
sure.
to get some
That's
input from
really
people out there.
we should
Like
open
Bryce
up
and I
some
are putting
polls.
ourselves and our opinions on the line every week. We take shit for, okay? Let's hear your thoughts.
Yep. Yeah, you step into the line of fire for a minute. This isn't easy. It's fun, though. I like it. And I do like the idea of maybe putting up a poll for people to nominate their votes for whatever the segment is for the week.
Good list there. Hey, Bryce, I mean, we're here, man. We're alive. Doing this is therapy to me. So thank you all for listening. I appreciate you guys listening and stick with us because, my God, do we need it.
We need it. We're in the trenches right now.
Uh-huh.
We have a great way to finish the season for football. There's a lot of good basketball coming up, and wrestling is going to take care of business. So it's not all bad. It just hurts right now.
It hurts really bad right now, but we'll get through it.
Yeah.
This too shall pass.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Yep, true.
Please.
All right. Hold on. What do you got going on this week? Anything crazy? Sit back on your couch and watch USC?
Now that the weather is going to get nice, I'm going to go to the game Friday, Iowa basketball game Friday. So I'm excited for that. Saturday, I'm going to plan on hanging some lights, Christmas lights, that time of the year. The Christmas decorations have come up in the household.
We're doing that too.
The Christmas lights are
That's
going
crazy.
up in the house this Saturday is the goal.
Love that.
The weather's
it got just cold enough. There was just enough snow driving up 35 through Story City and seeing a lot of the towns in Minnesota with some snow. It got me in the Christmas spirit. And Darian said it right away when she got home today. We're getting Christmas tree out of storage, lights up. It's time. We're going Christmas mode. And we are 16 days away from Stranger Things. I don't know if that still wets your whistle, but I'm pumped for some Stranger Things.
Yes, it'll get my mind on sports. It'll be the perfect timing. One of my favorite stretches in all life is, Thanksgiving up to Christmas. And now I get Stranger Things to watch in between that. I cannot wait for that. Absolutely.
Some longer episodes. It's been 3 years. Nate, when I first watched Stranger Things, I was 21 years old. I'm going to be a 30-year-old man watching these kids slay the Mind Flayer and Vecna. I'm pumped for it.
Yes. I pray to God that Steve does not die. If he dies, that will be it for me. If sports can't kill me, Steve's death will kill me.
Do you know that Steve was the guy that is part of the band Joe that had that hit song this year, End of Beginning?
Yeah, I found that out a year ago.
That is wild. I didn't know that until probably this summer.
Crazy.
Love that dude.
When I'm back in Chicago, I feel it.
Man,
Random ass talent to have from Steve. Well, here, whatever he does, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I could see him pulling out basically any talent and being like, oh yeah, that's just Steve. Yeah, I guess we're chilling for finally. I think we have a weekend in Iowa, and we're going to live it up, get some Christmas going.
Yeah, hang low, brother.
Watch.
Hang
It's
low.
time. It's time to really, really hibernate.